allegiance and join us if you wish. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, fellow citizens of Southampton. I'm Robert Floyd, your town moderator. Thank you for your support and your feedback. It means a lot to me. It's an honor to be elected town moderator. Serving you is a privilege. For full transparency and disclosure, I serve you in addition by being Southampton Cemetery Commissioner, Superintendent, Cemeteries, and East Hampton Board member. Our town meeting is a business meeting of Southampton. Our legislative session called pursuant to a warrant that lists the only topics on which our meeting tonight may actually take place. Please turn your phones off. Warrant return, Town of Southampton. Pursuant to the within warrant, I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the Town of Southampton by posting an attested copy at the Southampton Town Hall and 5 or more other places designated for the posting of such notices 14 days before holding said meeting. Constable Michael Goyette. And we have where they were posted. Town Hall, Trading Post, renamed, Pure Food, Big Y, Southampton Liquors, County Liquors, Stop and Save, and Edwards Library as an alternate this year. Officers return. This is to certify that I have served the within warrant by posting attested copies thereof in 6 usual places before time of meeting, June 7th, 2007. Michael Goyette, Constable. This morning, our Southampton town meeting is live with sound, first time ever for a special town meeting, and the first time ever with live sound, although we had a picture at the annual. My role as your town moderator, this is a shorter version, is to facilitate, to provide an open process that voters trust, and administer rules and guidelines in an even-handed manner, not to assure any particular outcome. The moderator's authority is over process, not outcome. The moderator leaves the outcome to the fully informed voters. This morning, we come together in our civil assembly as a community in a tradition that is older than our Commonwealth itself. We come together to make decisions about our Southampton community. As we deliberate, let us advocate for our positions, but not at the expense of others. Let us remember that there is an immense gap between saying, I am right, and saying, I believe I am right. And that our neighbors with whom we disagree are good people with hopes and dreams as true as high as ours. And let us always remember that in the end, caring for each other in this community is of far greater importance than any difference we may have. Our meeting will be run in accordance with these ground rules, courtesies, guidelines. All debate will be conducted in a respectful and courteous manner. Comments will be limited to the subject being debated and within the scope of the article before us. No comments of a personal nature are to be made. No naming of names are to be made. There is never any occasion for one speaker to address another in the second person, and this will not be permitted. Cross-examinations are not permitted. Applause is not allowed, except in celebration of adjournment. Rude behavior, especially shouting, bullying, lecturing, and personal attacks, will not be tolerated. Anyone unwilling to or unable to comply with these rules will be removed after the 3rd warning. So this be our first warning. The rights to speak. The plan this morning is for you to speak no more than 5 minutes at a time and no more than twice in any article except to correct an error or to answer a question. Please allow everyone an opportunity to be heard before you request to be heard a second time on an article. Remarks should be concise, to the point. I will allow anyone who previously spoke to address the meeting again, but it has to be a new point of view or rebuttal, no repetitions. Ready to contribute something new? Please approach the microphone up front and stand in line to be recognized in turn. First come, first heard. State your name and address clearly. All discussions must be relevant to the particular motion before us, the merits or lack thereof for the motion. Please face me, your town moderator, with your opinions, questions, and answers. This is meant to prevent lecturing, bullying, intimidation, and cross-examinations. I will only recognize speakers standing at the microphone unless it is a point of order. I will only recognize the motion to move the question from someone who is standing at the microphone and recognized in due order. Thank you all for your patience and respecting everyone this morning. These guidelines will assist us in a more efficient meeting. Outside speakers, it is Southampton's custom to vote to allow somebody new to address you. I will read their names. I'm looking for a name. Town administrator's on vacation this morning. So, Charlie, do we have the name of the financial advisor? Is he a voter? Will he be speaking today?
Financial advisor.
For the reason that we're meeting.
Give the explanation if you would.
No, the name. If no one's going to be speaking, we don't have to worry about it. We need to be vetted. Anybody? Okay. Great. Okay. We'll proceed. May I hear a motion for Article 1, please?
Mr. Moderator, I move that a sum of up to $2,730,000 is appropriated to pay the costs of the design and construction of water system improvements in the town, including but not limited to all or any portion of these improvements described Town Water Systems Master Plan, dated December 2016, and for the payment of all the costs incidentals related thereto, and that to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the selectmen, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to Chapter 44, Section 8 of the general laws, or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds and notes of the town thereof. Therefore, any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this vote, less any such premium applied to the payment of the costs of issuance of such bonds or notes, may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this vote in accordance with Chapter 44, Section 20 of the general laws, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount, and that the total sum to be borrowed upon under Article 1 and Article 2 of the special town meeting warrant shall not exceed $2,730,000 in aggregate.
I hear a motion. Do I hear a second? Motion made and seconded. Who would like to address this article?
Mr. Moderator, Matt Christie, Chairman of the Water Commission, 124 Middle Road. This article, the purpose of this article is to fund our capital improvement plan that we've developed for the water system looking forward for the next 5 years.
Thank you. Anybody else like to address this article?
Francine Tishman, Vice Chair of the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee met and...
Street address.
83 Glendale Road.
Thank you.
The Finance Committee met and is recommending this article for approval by the town. Thank you.
This is the same article, and the other two are that we have voted on before. Our town requires financial advice when there's borrowing, and that's why we're meeting again. So essentially, yes, you've seen these three articles before. These articles 1 and 2 from the special town meeting, and the third article from last year's annual town meeting. Anybody have any comments, questions? Seeing none, we're going to vote on motion Article 1. It needs a 2/3 majority for approval. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Please signify by saying nay. Motion under Article 1 passed. Huh? Paper ballot. Paper ballot. Okay. Take your paper ballot. I'm better in the evening than I am in the morning. We all know that. Take your paper ballot. What color? Let's pick a color. Green. Green. Pick your green, yes or no. Rip it in half carefully. This one here. Rip it in half carefully. Keep the one that you're going to be putting in a box handy. Take the other one and put it in a pocket somewhere. And we're going to be passing the hat, so to speak, and you will take your yes or your no, and you will put it in the box. No, two, person two. There's no bonding for short-term borrowing. Is there one box or two? There's two boxes. I thank you for your patience. This is a group hug, but we're all in it together, and thank you for all coming out. Yep, we're doing the color green. With this one. You did or didn't? Miss Counter? Actually, I reread the book. It says it's highly undesirable for the moderator to vote, but it doesn't preclude the moderator to vote. All right, thank you. All the votes are going to be carefully placed on a table to be counted, and the boxes will be brought back so we can then proceed to vote on Article 2. So may I hear a motion for Article 2, please?
Mr. Moderator, I move that up to $1,700,000 is appropriated for the purpose of financing the construction of the water system improvement, including without limitations of all costs thereof, as defined in Section 1 of Chapter 29C of the General Laws, as most recently amended by State 1998, Chapter 78, that to meet this appropriation, the Treasurer, with the approval of the Selectmen, is authorized to borrow $1,700,000 and issue bonds and notes, therefore, under Chapter 44 of the General Laws, or insert references to other applicable general or special laws governing the issuance of local bonds, and or Chapter 29C of the General Laws, as most amended by State 1998, Chapter 78, that such bonds and notes shall be general obligations of the town unless the Treasurer, with the approval of the Selectmen, determines that this should be issued as limited obligations and may be secured by local systems revenues as defined under Section 1 of Chapter 29C, as most recently amended by State 1998, Chapter 78, that the Treasurer, with the approval of the Selectmen, is authorized to borrow all or a portion of such amount from the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust established pursuant to Chapter 29C, as most recently amended by State 1998, Chapter 78, and in connection with that therewith to enter into a loan agreement and or security agreement with the trust, and otherwise to contract with the trust and the Department of Environmental Protection with respect to loans for any federal or state aid available for the project or from the financing thereof. That the Board of Selectmen and appropriate local bodies or officials is authorized to enter into a private regulatory agreement with the Department of Environmental Protection to expend all funds available for the project and to take any other action necessary to carry out the projects. And B, that the sum to be borrowed upon Article 1 and Article 2 of this special town meeting warrant shall not exceed $2,730,000 in aggregate.
I hear a motion. Do I hear a second? That's a big motion. Motion made and seconded. Who would like to address this, please?
This is basically house cleaning on the fact that the last town meeting, we did not follow protocol, and we were advised by our bond counsel that we needed to re-vote on these
With a paper ballot.
with a paper ballot.
Right. Paper ballot is in our bylaw, and that's an additional procedure that we're incorporating today. Anybody else? By the way, if anybody has an objection to the way the meeting is being handled, or perhaps what somebody said, you all have a right to stand up immediately and shout out from your seat, point of order. The moderator will stop the proceedings and address your point of order. That applies to every one of you. So seeing none, we're going to vote with a paper ballot. Yellow? So same as before. Does somebody send out for the boxes? We have to wait a minute for the boxes. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Just Francine Tishman, Vice Chair
Yeah.
of the Finance Committee, 83 Glendale Road, just to make sure that we dot all of our i's and cross our t's. The Finance Committee met on June 13th and agreed to recommend this for approval. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so take your yellow ballots, rip them in half carefully, and put in the box your vote. Yes for aye, no for nay, and take the other and put it in your pocket or wherever. Oh, yeah, that's your vote, sorry. Please only vote once. Yes, sir.
Robert, how about opening all the windows behind us?
Good idea. We have volunteers to open the windows. Don't try this at home. Thank you. Teamwork. Hey, the box is still going around for the vote. Feel better that first reports? First reports are there is a slight breeze and coming in.
Sorry, I keep moving. Sure. Okay, go behind everybody.
Once we're all voted, once all the votes are out of the room. You still got votes? Okay. Box is coming.
I'm keeping an eye on you. Thank you. Yep, you can. Gotta turn it so you know.
I'd read up to here.
Okay, but look at what happens when it's further on. that part?
Oh, wait a minute, sorry, motion.
So it's just a summary and then it's the
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
motion?
yeah, the
So read
motion
those
here.
into-
Read this, read the motion
Yeah,
here, and read it up to here.
okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, all the votes are done? Everybody's voted? Okay. May I hear a motion for Article 3? And because everybody has the motion, we will not ask to be read in its entirety. So we'll read the portion we agreed on, give you a taste and a flavor of what we're going to vote on. Right on the motion.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to appropriate $700,000 for the purpose of acquiring, for the purpose below, certain property known as the Gwinner property consisting of 25.64 acres, more or less, and shown on Assessors Map 30 as parcel 12A. B, that to meet this appropriation, the sum of $386,862.50 shall be transferred from Community Preservation Commission surcharges undesignated, and the treasurer, with the approval of the select board, is authorized to borrow the sum of $313,137.50 in accordance with Chapter 44, Section 7(3) of the general laws as amended, and any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes therefore, provided, however, that such funds shall not be transferred, borrowed, or expended unless the town is approved for either land, local acquisitions for a natural diversity grant, or a DWSP, Drinking Water Supply Protection Grant, as described below, from the Massachusetts Division of Conservation Services and/or any other such sources in the amount of at least $313,137.50.
Motion made. Do I hear a second? Second. I have to ask for it. Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Who would like to address this? This was voted on in the annual meeting, 2015. It was passed unanimously. We are,
2016, I believe.
sorry?
2016, you said 15. It was voted on, I believe.
2016. I forgot we're in 2017. Thank you. I told you it was teamwork. Who would like to address this motion, please?
Virginia A. Hart, 27 Fulmer Road, Chair of the Community Preservation Committee. Just for your information, we did receive the water grant. So the borrowing will be returned as soon as this is finalized. But we
Thank you.
did receive the grant.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to address this? Pros, cons, seeing none, we'll vote. We need a 2/3 majority. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, please signify by saying nay. The motion under Article 3 passes unanimously. It meets the 2/3 requirement. We cannot dissolve the meeting until we have the results of the voting for 1 and 2. I'd ask you to be a little more, continue your patience. Some town meetings have the high school band play a jazz number or two to warm everybody up before the meeting. I don't think it'd be able to fit, but we could have had them outside the window, and we certainly would have used them right now. This is for the first one. Yeah. I have the results for the first article, the motion on the first article. We needed a two-thirds majority. It is met, 85 yeas, 3 nays. So that meets our two-thirds and passes two-thirds requirement. You're welcome. Okay. We have the results for the motion for Article 2. It needed two-thirds. It passes, meets a two-thirds requirement, 88-3. This concludes our business for the morning. I will entertain a motion to dissolve our special town meeting. So moved. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?